liftoff of the Delta rocket carrying GLAST, a gamma-ray telescope searching for unseen physics in the stars of the galaxies.
Before you lose it all to the dark side, you gotta sacrifice yourself forever. Cause in the battlefield, there's no mercy. Blood in the sky, burning tides, wall of eyes, paralyzed, devil rise in disguise. Can you feel the ground quaking? The cracks of hell beneath your feet. There's the God you are forsaken in this nightmare of defeat. There are only ashes left and clouds of dust. It will all go black, no more light. Blood in the sky, burning tides, wall of eyes, paralyzed, devil rise in the skies. Can you feel the ground quaking? The cracks of hell beneath your feet. There's no God you are forsaken in this nightmare of defeat. Nightmare of defeat. I am hating you, the beast inside. I am the parasite that feeds on your life. You are the chosen one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first of the hopefully many of this crazy freak out on YouTube. And with me to start everything off right now, we have the Norm, or actually he's the Dark Norm right now. So welcome.
Thank you, Manny.
Yeah, you made it.
Thank you very much, bud.
To the very first one.
This is amazing.
It's amazing.
Really.
It's crazy. We got a lot of folks right now that are sitting in the chat, and it's a little different on YouTube, definitely. So we got Dre. Dre's here. We got Green Man. We got myself in there as the UFO Buster Radio Network. And we also got Awake Insanity. What a name. God, you got to love that. Yeah.
I do.
Awake Insanity.
Sounds like a great band.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's play his music. We got Game Vet. And, of course, the one and only Renee, who incidentally, Dave's in there too from Down Under. Renee, welcome to the show. Yeah, that's right. Manny's first UFO live chat. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know how long we'll keep it up because, YouTube is a little different for me. It's not like something I'm used to, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out how it goes along. So really the hardest thing is going to be trying to keep this flowing like a podcast because it's going to be sent to the podcast and all the folks are going to be listening to it. So who knows what the hell they're going to hear. But I thank you guys for showing up today. Now, if you are a member of Discord, I did send out the link so that you can join in this chat because we're going to talk about something that we already talked about it on the podcast, but shit, we're going to have like a panel of such, a panel of people. And Norm, you're the first one, the Dark Norm. You're number one.
Hey, I used that link. That's how I got here. Guys, get on it, guys. Come on. I know you're out there.
Yeah, come on aboard. Get on here. It'll take me a little bit to figure out where the hell you're at in this, because it's not like a podcasting dashboard. So, you know, it is what it is. But either way, whether you're here live or not, I thank you guys for coming on here. The topic, of course, is going to be the issue with MUFON right now. Oh, by the way, GameVet says not to get any hiccups. I'm trying. I'm going to try
Really?
not. No promises. No promises. And so the issue is
Drink up, me Hardy.
yeah, no kidding. And right now, what we're dealing with is our boy, Mr. Jan Harzan. I don't know how the fuck you say his name. And his issues, what he's been going through, and what he's been doing on the side, I guess. Really creepy. Really creepy. So what are your thoughts on it? So we know that on July the 3rd, he got arrested for kind of, I don't know, trying to make connections with a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
who was
really, a minor. That's what
yeah,
they're saying. Yeah.
which was really a cop. Now,
Yeah.
before we get into that conversation, I don't even know if you guys can see this. Can you even see what MUFON posted? So MUFON,
It's a little small for me, but
Yeah.
most of the other guys, I'm sure they can see it full screen.
So here's the deal. This is what they wrote, and I'll just read it because you guys are used to me like reading shit anyway. Oops. Sorry, YouTube. in light of recent event, Jan, he reminds me of what was that guy back in the day? Jan Michael Vincent. Remember that guy? No. All right.
No clue.
Jan Harzan has been permanently removed as the executive director of the MUFON network. Effective immediately, he will no longer serve any role in the organization. Well, thank goodness for that. David McDonald, executive director emeritus and a member of the MUFON board of directors, will now assume the duties of the executive director. And basically, MUFON remains committed to its core mission, the study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity. I don't know about that last line. I'm not really sure they're benefiting anybody, but you know,
they say that before they're in trouble.
yeah, exactly. That's what they should be saying all the time. So, as we wait for anyone else that might want to join us live, the question is for you: what are your thoughts on Jan's situation? I feel like I'm talking about
You know,
by the way.
I think personally that they did the right thing. You got to get rid of the guy, even if due process happens. You got to put it through the system, but you got to get him out of there. That way, at least MUFON can salvage a little bit of what they were trying to do. Now, I'm not a huge MUFON follower, but I understood them to be a resource of sorts. At least, if nothing else, that you could get your stuff out there and at least not feel alone in the universe, because some people who have seen something, been abducted, they have that fear in them that they're alone. And MUFON, to me, was always that one place where people could go, feel like they're part of a community, and depending on, because MUFON got so big, they had to branch out, of course, state by state, have chapter here, have a chapter there. Now, one apple doesn't have to ruin the whole cart, you know.
True.
Because they did their due diligence, in my opinion. So I think MUFON needs to keep going, and they need to keep going with that last line that you read as their first line. It really needs to turn in that direction. You know, they're just the name that's out there, you know, and everybody knows when you say MUFON kind of what that's about. You know, there's other companies and other ufologists who are doing the same kind of deal, but they're not as big. They don't have that reach. They have a huge reach, and that reach is important, you know, and I don't want to lose that, so to speak. And I think they're on the right track. Now, let the guy go through his due process and show the evidence and whatever. It's no big deal to me. I mean, it's a big deal what they're accusing him of, yes.
Oh, absolutely,
but
yeah.
the guy running the business, I don't care who runs it. You could run it. I could run it. Green Man could run it. I don't care. Dre even, get him on it. But the point of the matter is the connection is there for people just like us who use it for what it's worth. We have all these other places, but MUFON is a good starting point for a lot of new people coming in.
So what do you think about Renee's comment here that MUFON should shut down? And really, there's a lot of people in different YouTube channels, different podcasts who are saying the same thing. They're pretty much done for. We shouldn't even care that this could be the end for them. Not that I think that, to be honest.
At this point, people can say whatever they want, but the truth of the matter is, if people show up, why are you going to shut down if people keep coming to your place? So it's not like there needs to be a movement against MUFON, as long as they stay on that path. We had if I had an employee and he messed up like that, he wouldn't be on my salary anymore. He wouldn't be with me. He would be on the road. Hey, take care of your business. This has nothing to do with the company. I think that's where they are. MUFON needs to stick around though, because they are that little connection to the little people, to the people who just don't know where to go. There doesn't seem to be anybody in place who's going to replace them. Nobody's waiting in the wings to say, okay, we can do this. Maybe a couple of guys, but I think they're more about editing, making videos presentable to the public, or at least with your podcast, you would bring out stories that we never heard. I've never heard a lot of the stories that you bring out. So those things are different from what MUFON represents to me. And I think to lose MUFON at this point would be not a good thing.
Well, you're absolutely right. And actually, GameVet makes a point. It's not the business problem. It's just the guy. But a lot of times you are the face of the organization, and you really end up, through whatever evil crap you do, you end up bringing down the people that support you in that organization. To me, I see eventually they'll come out of this, right? But yeah. I think
they're almost too big to fail. Almost, right? I mean, really. I mean, that it seems to me that MUFON is the biggest, out there. So,
yeah,
what would you do? Where would you go?
Yeah, between them and New Fork, yeah, they're a bit more public. They get, they do a lot of stuff. They're out there. They have training. They do all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're never too big to fail. And I think that they're going to feel it for a couple of years. And we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Sure. Every time the trial comes up, they're going to bring up MUFON.
Right.
Anytime the guy goes in front of a judge, MUFON's going to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
And other companies, if they want to step in, all they got to do is just be there. Just be there. You don't have to, step on anybody to get there. I've seen that over and over and over again, where people just take advantage of a situation, completely crushing, something that might not even be true. See, we don't even know. The accusation, the accusations are there. there might be evidence, but we want to see it. And that has to do, in America, we have due process. So let that happen. Let that happen. But every time it comes up, their name's going to come up. So if anybody wants to take over or, do that, then all they got to do is be there. Just show up and do your job.
So we're going to add one more person to this chat, everybody. Everyone just get ready and welcome the one and only Green Man.
Howdy.
What's happening?
How you doing, guys?
So listen, you've been hearing what we're talking about. So what's your opinion on the whole situation with Mr. Harzan, JH? I'll just go with JH. I can't think it. JH and MUFON.
Dude, they need to cut ties with him like ASAP, man. To save anything that they've got, any kind of rep that they've got. They need a hot potato his ass, lickety split. Because dude, we're We're already fighting an uphill battle, man. Talking about UFOs
Yeah.
and everybody, everybody already thinks, we're kind of out there.
Yeah.
And now, and now this shit, it's not doing any good for the cause.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And like I was telling the Norm, and you probably heard it, there's a lot of people who are saying that this is going to be the end of MUFON altogether. To be honest, I really don't care for MUFON either way. A lot of times what I see them doing is really debunking. They do a lot of debunking. Yeah, they use the scientific method. They go out there, they test this, they test that. But at the end of the day, they're out there doing what a lot of people that we dislike in ufology do. It's just that they kind of cater to what some of those folks consider the fringe of the subject. So it's fascinating completely that this is happening. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. And it's good that they actually went ahead and cut ties with them. They did it publicly and kind of rather quick, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Smart
For
move.
sure. I think so too. When it comes to the debunking and such like that, that irks me. It does, because I think we're, at least I know the three of us here are out for the truth. And when you got the truth and you try to say, well, this might not be in our favor, and you debunk it, then you're not doing anybody any good. So if that be the case, then the way that you're calling them out on this, perfect. I think it needs to happen more, because that's another thing for their organization that needs to get cleaned up. If you agree, right? And so
yeah, absolutely. But I kind of
that could be the death of them. That right there, that could actually, that could be the death of them.
Well, listen, if their symposium a couple of years ago regarding the secret space program was not the death of MUFON, it might be hard to kill them off. I don't know. Because, having Corey Good as one of your presenters, it's like, geez, gosh, that's nuts. I can't believe they went that way. It's just crazy.
Yeah, not the greatest spokesperson we could have asked for. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was just really surprised. You go around, you go testing, people's sightings, trying to look for physical evidence and things like that. But then you're going to bring on a guy who says he's been gone for 10 years in a program to Mars fighting reptilians. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's that one's a little far out there, man.
Least you could do is bring back some sort of an artifact,
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
A scale or something, man. In Vietnam, they took years, dude. At least a scale or a tooth or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to post in the chat, the live chat, and actually this is being broadcasted to both Facebook and YouTube. But the link is in there in case you decide to join. You can go ahead and click on the link and bring your happy butt onto the very first freak out.
Bring your happy ass in.
Bring it.
Yeah,
bring that candy ass up in here.
This is history. You got to be here. I agree.
By David saying hello to Dre. Dre is saying his Wi-Fi is down. Okay. So that really was the topic for today, because it seems that so many people are split. There's conspiracy theories out there now regarding how he may have been set up, which is kind of strange. How could he be set up?
Possible. I mean, yeah. If you're actually holding on to something that's really tangible, ever since the 90s, the 80s, and even before then, the dark government, the secret guys, they don't want that stuff coming out until they want that stuff coming out. And if they don't want that stuff coming out, they'll use any means possible, in my belief, to accomplish their mission, right? They get a ton of money from what we've all learned, and they don't want to lose that. They have 100 projects and just up in the air right now.
Right.
They got secrets that they can't afford to let out, because basically it's free energy, right? What's his name? Dr. Greer. He's got a little bit of a point there, Who couldn't use free energy? You never have to buy gasoline anymore. You never have to pay for electricity anymore. You know, all of a sudden, the middle class gets a little bump, and you know, everybody gets a little bump. You know, that's really important stuff that could happen. And we've all seen the history books about Tesla and how the moment he passed away, they came in and took all of his stuff out of his safe. So,
But you know
and
what?
they confiscate.
You bring up an interesting name. You brought up Dr. Greer. Now, if there was
Yeah.
someone that I would think the government would want to set his ass up, it would be Greer.
Yeah, but he walks around with a pistol on his hip every day.
Well,
He knows. He knows. He
so
knows
he's gonna, yeah,
hunted.
but we're not saying he's gonna shoot 13-year-olds. We're just saying.
No. Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little unlikely to get a doctor. You know, he's got too many good creds from his past. He's been a real upstanding person. He's got all the proof to back that up. You know, other than him going off the deep end on a few of these UFO things, which you can't hardly blame him. He's got everything coming at him. Hell, I even sent him a text about the stuff happening in my backyard just to see what he might say, but he never replied. So whatever. Still, yeah, I'm holding out hope.
But there you go. Here's a guy. This guy has been a loudmouth. He's putting out documentaries every freaking year. Constantly. He's just hammering at the government constantly. I would think that if they're going to, stamp the pedo image on anyone, it would be Greer.
Yeah,
but instead,
8 years ago, when I saw him, I said, "There's a dead man." I mean, he's still around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand your point completely. I understand, but maybe he's got some backup. Maybe he knows something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just doing the right thing. That, maybe because look, how much responsibility can one government have on their shoulders? You got to let some of it go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's the little stuff, the mundane stuff. Like, okay, yeah, we've built replica UFOs. Whippy, now that we know, yahoo, I mean, it would be pretty outstanding. But if you think about this 10 years ago, that would be absolutely jaw-breaking. It would be economy destroying, so to speak. But these days, I think everybody's kind of ready for it, So maybe he's on the right track, and the other guy, he's just, he's got some weird stuff. I don't know. It's hard to say, Manny. It really is.
Yeah, it's a
Got to
tough.
be there,
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't want to be there. For fuck's sake.
Me neither.
Don't want to be part of that. No, not at all.
Any volunteers?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a crazy situation. We'll see what happens. I'm sure people are going to be following it constantly. From a ufology standpoint, all these shows or these podcasts, all these publications like the Sun UK, they're all going to follow it. So we'll get some reports on this. But there's still so many people claiming that Harzan had this big secret already. A big secret. He was set up, and that's why it went down. It's hard to believe that. It really is. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Honestly, I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dude, if anything, if one of the guys that I think that they were really going to set up would have been like Stanton Freeman, because, dude, he for years pummeled him with Freedom of Information Act requests and blasted him constantly. And dude was a legit nuclear physicist, scientist, could explain to people how shit worked. And Greer, dude, every other word out of his mouth is reptile.
Yeah.
I think they're looking at part of that and kind of like, well, they're thinking just let him talk his reptile shit and he'll kind of do our job for us. I mean, Greer does do a lot of weird shit. He does have, some good points here and there,
And he's got some turnoffs. True.
Yeah. So that kind of gives you, they're going to look at him, I think, a little bit different than I think they kind of looked at Freeman, just because, dude, that guy was solid, through and through. I mean, had the schools, had the facts, and hounded them constantly. It would have been a pain off their ass just getting, just in paperwork.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like I can almost see someone like Stan Romanek when he claimed that he was set up with that USB memory card, right? I can see that. Maybe someone coming in, not looking, stick it in there, what have you. There was a lot of reports about CIA and NSA tricks that they can use to get into your PC and drop some files into it. But this is just a little different for me. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on the side of Mr. Harzan fucked up. That's just me.
Yeah, it's definitely looking more that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally. So, speaking of Stan Romanek, I've been doing some research. And it's weird because it looks like he came out at one time and he became really ill. And apparently it's all over Facebook. And if you go to the, I forgot what his wife's name, Mrs. Romanek's Facebook page, you can actually see on there that she was doing some kind of a GoFundMe in order to help with his medical costs. So it looked like he was at one point in house arrest, basically. So going to be looking for some more info on that because really he could possibly give some pointers to Jan Harzan how to get out of this or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what comes around comes around. Did they name the sickness at all?
Actually, I remember reading it in the that GoFundMe page, but I don't recall what it was. I don't.
As long as they're not calling it COVID,
No.
I start hearing these guys. They say, okay, well, COVID came from Mars or COVID came from this. You touched on it. I mean, valid points. Your show last night was so good. I love the fact that we're going out there, we're grabbing all this stuff and bringing it back, and not even two fucks giving FUQ for the pain that could happen from bringing a foreign substance into this. But COVID has all the signs that say this is a natural thing here on Earth. This is not a space bug. Trust me.
Right. Actually, let's welcome to the. I was going to say the podcast. Dre's in there, and he is rocking the No Fucks Given shirt.
Great.
Hey, buddy. What's up, Dre?
There you go.
I thought everybody was wearing their shirts today.
Oh yeah, and those are only on Tuesdays. Today's Thursday.
I got mine. I'm repping here.
Okay, I have a problem.
There you go.
I can only see myself. I can't see everybody else.
Really? We can see you just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can't see anybody else on the screen.
Oh, are you using a cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it.
No.
Yeah, that might be it. Well, we can see you. We see that you're representing.
I'm trying to do it on my laptop, but the Wi-Fi cut off on that, went back to the phone, so I'm still getting my laptop won't even open up any web browsing now.
Well,
so anyway, go on.
We can see you. So listen, we've been blabbing away about the situation. So what are your thoughts?
I've been going back and forth on the computer. I think those guys are super geniuses. Even if our computers are off, they can hack into it and drop whatever they want in our shit.
Yeah.
There's no. If they want you dead, they'll kill you. If they want you to be a pedophile, they'll make a pedophile. If they want you discredited, they'll do it. You can't hide from them.
Yeah, and it's funny that they picked the one topic that really gets under everyone's skin. Yeah, turns a red alert, and automatically you're guilty.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the one topic. Oh my God, that's the devil's work right there. Easily, that's an easy way to discredit you.
Yeah. On the other side of the coin too, if he did have something, and they pulled this Joker card to hit him with such a heavy thing, then that would reinforce all of his evidence. Right now we're kind of in a quandary. On one hand, if he's guilty, we want him to get the maximum sentence and never be around a kid again. or even a human for all that I care. But if he's not guilty, then we want to know, then I guess maybe you're got something going, and that'll, be harmful probably to the secret government, but I don't know. You guys still produce evidence. That's the one thing we all lack.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Tangible evidence.
We need the evidence. We need the videotape. Let's go to the videotape. Basically,
we
you know,
we don't want to see the videotape.
No, well, yeah. I mean, we don't want to be in the videotape. We do want to see it.
Get one of Game Bet's trucker cams at least, and put it on your vehicle when you're around Mars, and bring something back.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're cool. We want to see the evidence. We want to know for sure that he actually did the wrong thing. And again, how do you set someone up unless you knew that they had an aversion for this? That it's something they wanted to do, should I say? That's the only way you can set them up. You dangle the carrot in front of the rabbit. And Dre's having issues with his camera.
No, now Green Man showed up, Norm showed up, but you haven't showed up now.
Oh, I've been here. I was the first one, actually.
I know, but my stupid phone.
I kind of started the show.
Actually, Norm was here early.
That's too funny. Well, GameVet, I think GameVet tried to join in, but something happened. He wasn't connecting. He might be out there driving away.
I think he was driving, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably in the big rig. Yeah, so crazy things happening in ufology. So now let's move over to where I was hoping that we would see Dre himself over in Boca Chica waiting for this damn rocket to take off. So what do you think, Dre?
Did that go down?
That's going to be good. We could probably even get to the bridge and see it. Damn. Boca Chica's not so far from South Padre Island.
Right. Yeah.
It's another 5 or 3 minutes or some small distance.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a damn condo and drink and watch it off the balcony take off.
Yeah, and actually, the Norm, what's happening is that they're waiting to do the static test for the Raptor engine, and it still hasn't happened. Still has not happened. It's the weirdest thing.
It's because they're killing the environment.
That means it doesn't leave. That means it doesn't leave the Earth. It just they hold onto the rocket and just blast it right there, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it'll just sit there, and then apparently right after that we go straight up to do the hop. In meters, by the way.
What was that video? What was that video you played at the entrance? What was that video you played at the entrance?
That was just a random damn video I found on some website. Basically, they showed.
Was that a real rocket?
Yeah.
That thing looked like a demon, dude.
Yeah,
that thing is amazing.
Now, did you see how many engines that thing had? I mean, I could play it again.
I I thought 10.
10.
I thought 10. But
I think they're saying that the Starship will have about 3 times as much, like in the 30s.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how big it's going to be.
That'll be loud.
Jesus.
That's going to be loud.
Yeah. And then probably another reason why he's wanting to build those rigs offshore, in order to shoot off this rocket, because it's going to be too loud. It's going to be too strong, too powerful. I'm telling you, it'll kill off everybody in Boca Chica, for sure.
Yeah, fishing's going to be easy. Fishing's going to be easy there.
Yeah, fried fish.
Yeah. Awaken Sandy said it looked like an old video. It might be some special effects on there. I'm not really sure. That they might have applied to that. I mean, who knows?
Some Spielberg video.
Yeah, something fancy for you guys. But yeah, it is a cool video to see those things take off. Absolutely.
So after they get the test done, is there a set time for after they get that test done that they can actually launch?
Yeah, they were saying within 3 days.
I know.
Okay. James.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's pretty good.
Trey is on the move and
making a drink.
Is that what he's doing?
Hey, cheers. Cheers, my friend.
This is a family show. What the hell?
Well, I'm the drunk uncle.
I don't think you listen. No one's ever going to see this on any other UFO show. So,
Sorry, guys.
let's. What exactly is in that bottle? Let's take a look at that, Dre. What is that bottle you poured in there?
Oh, hello.
Oh, Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack.
Nice. So you're
Just a
saying
little something.
you're only going to last about 5 more minutes.
Hey, Gina's still awake, so I'm good.
Oh,
Wow.
It's almost 11 o'clock. Are you serious?
Oh, shit.
She took an energy drink. She can't go.
There you go.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Special night, man. It is totally a special night.
It is the very first freak out on YouTube and Facebook, which actually, according to Dave, Facebook is not working. So apparently somebody must have dropped the F-bomb somewhere. We got cut off. Which is
MUFON.
It's MUFON. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the NSA. Actually, I live not too far from the NSA, to be honest. But don't tell nobody.
Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah. And so, what do you guys have to freak out about when it comes to the topic of UFOs? Is there anything you guys want to bitch about right now?
Yes.
Okay. Who's up?
Totally. Who wants to go first? Green Man?
Go for it. Go for it, Norm.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about satellites here for a second. When back in the day, I remember the biggest thing I could ever see in the stars was the ISS. It was the biggest thing, so you could see it pretty easily, the size of it as it went across the sky, right?
Right.
Other satellites, and my mom, she actually used to build satellites, so I have a kind of a vested interest in them. But the thing that I'm seeing are these satellites that seem to be the size of the ISS because they're so easily visible from down here, from where I am at least. In my backyard, Game Man was with me one time. I was counting them. I counted 8 of them.
Wait a minute. Was Game Man, is that a hybrid of Green Man and Game Man?
It's her love child.
You love baby. But I really I'm serious about it too. I really want to find out what it's all about, because these things are easily visible, and it's not the Starlink satellites. I've videoed those from out here. You guys have seen that. It's on my YouTube, and they're clear as bell. And you see them 1, 2, 3. I'm just talking about things that just appear. They're the size of a star, and they'll just float right over you. Now, I assume they're satellites. My biggest problem is you're not supposed to see them that big. They're supposed to be extremely small and hard to find.
Right.
What changed? What's changed? Is it just me? And I have the apps. Every time I see one, I go to an app and it says there is no satellite in the area, at this angle. And I'm dumbfounded. I catch these things. I videoed them. I have 6 videos right now that I have to process about these little stars going across the sky like this.
Wait,
but in my mind, from what I've...
Are you saying that you're out there in the middle of Nevada and you're videotaping the sky?
Yeah, totally. Every night. Oh yeah, it's worth it, man. I see something every day, really. And the fact of the matter is, yes, they're out towards the northwest, and yes, the northwest of me is Area 51. Period. It's only 55 miles away from me. It's over 2 hills. That's where Area 51 is to me. From my location in Las Vegas, I'm at the very north end of it. So it's kind of it's a drive to get to the Strip from my house, and that's the way I wanted it. Nonetheless, though, these things, they show up. Some of them are really solid, but there's one in particular. It strobes on and off and on and off.
Sorry.
That one's got me perplexed. Also, because if it is something secret, why do you put a big ass strobe on it? Why? Why would you do that? For someone like me to catch, and then the next thing I know, I've got child porn on my phone, right? I mean, I don't need that, you know. That's not the hassle I need. I love it. It's exciting, but it doesn't have to be dangerous. let's you know, yeah. In my mind, I always thought the satellites were too small to see that large, but it seems like everything out there is the size of the ISS, and that's 7 buses big. That's 7 school buses big. It's not a small object. And it's in low orbit, if I'm not mistaken, Green Man.
Yeah, I remember that video, dude. And the weird thing is, what do they need up there that is that damn big?
Exactly.
You know, you got the ISS, and they when that was first up there, they were like, yeah, it's one of the only things that you'll be able to see from orbit, you know, on the Earth, because it's so damn big. And now all of a sudden, you've got all these big fucking bastards up there. What are they? What are their purpose? You know,
exactly.
Yeah, so here's the other thing. You know, like you were saying, you track them on your app, but if it's a military satellite or anything that they have up
it ain't
there,
gonna be there.
it's not going to be there. So I could just imagine. Now,
I understand why. You know,
yeah,
I understand why. But there I go. I'm capturing something that is, you know, not supposed to be seen, but here I am catching it. Why? You know, it's not just me. I'm sure you could have anybody sit my. In fact, when this COVID thing's over, you guys are definitely coming over to my house. We're gonna have a UFO watching party out here, satellite watching party, whatever you want to call it. I'll buy the beer and everything.
So Dave, now according to Dave, low orbit, high reflection satellites, which is what's happening with the Starlink satellites, right? It's the same situation.
Right.
Because they really are that big, but they are extremely reflective, and they look like, you know, a chain of lights. It's completely nuts. Completely nuts.
The Starlinks look like a chain of lights. Yes, they do. This is unlike that, though. This is at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, when the sun's on the other side of we're on the other side of the sun. And there shouldn't be any light hitting these low Earth orbit satellites. But still, they're so bright. It baffles my mind. You know, it just baffles my mind. But one of these days, we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, eventually. And by the way, David says you need a drone so you can follow those satellites. They're going to be kind of far again.
Hey, on Mondays, watch my on Sundays and Mondays, watch my little Madden 16 football game playing thing. I got a donation button. That's where I'll put that money to. I'll put it to that. For sure. That was one of the first things when I heard about drones. I was like, I'm going to get me a drone. I'm going to catch a UFO. Bingo, you know.
And by the way,
that hasn't happened yet. Drums came first.
One of the things that we got to do is mention that you guys have been on YouTube quite a bit recently, especially through GameVet and his adventures at home, investigating the paranormal.
Yep. Big thank you to GameVet for having us on. It's always fun. Always cool.
It is. I love doing that. I mean, GameVet gets he's getting a lot of sightings of different things too. So it's really exciting to hear his stories, you know. And he'll get disappointed when he can't catch it on video. I'll tell you. And I don't blame him too, because
the stuff he sees, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. As a matter of fact, I got to remind everyone that this coming Saturday, Chris Garcia will be back with us to do some of the psychic stuff. So he's excited about it. I was chatting with him today, so he's looking forward to it. Hopefully, we don't have any screw ups in technology, because last time it was just crazy. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it works. And he's ready. He's ready to go and make some predictions. So, Green Man, on your neck of the woods, because we know that the Tic Tac incident happened over there in California. What do you see, you know, in terms of UFOs and unidentified things flying in your neck of the woods?
I don't really see all that much nowadays, you know, because it's so bright where I am. I mean, you're lucky if you can see the moon, Mars, Venus, and maybe a couple stars, and, you know, find the Big Dipper. You don't get shit for lights out here. But I mean, yeah, we have a lot of shit happen, but it all seems to be, off coast. I did actually go to a store the other day wearing one of the podcast show shirts.
Oh.
And got a story from the guy behind the counter.
Oh, there you go. See, these shirts work magic. They're
yeah. So I guess it was a story that this guy had from his mom. And, I guess he was a kid when it happened, and his mom tried to wake him up, and he's like, yeah, whatever. He's like 8 or something like that, just wanted to sleep. But yeah, I guess his mom came home 3 o'clock in the morning, and hovering over the neighbor's house was a UFO. Freaked her out to where she didn't even park the car. She just kind of put it in park in the middle of the road, hopped out, ran into the house, tried to start getting people. And, he finally came out and he said, yeah, man, I saw it for a split second. It was huge. It was over the neighbor's house, and it just kind of up and gone.
Jeez. That is crazy.
And this was in a neighborhood area. I think he said it was Lower Chula Vista, which is, dude, it's not spread out, man. It's packed community. So
how old would you say this guy was, or did he remember around the year that it happened? What did he even say?
He said the guy was probably mid-20s, and he said it was when he was around 8 to 10.
Jeez, that is it's not too long ago.
Yeah, not that far back.
Jeez, look at that.
We get stuff, it's just every once in a while we'll see lights over the bay. My wife one time, she found something on Facebook where, and she's like, did you hear anything about it? And it was a string of orange lights, but it was, it was way too low to be satellites.
Right.
Because you could actually kind of see the tops of the buildings behind these lights. They were just putting across, the big bay. Somebody, I think it was somebody in Pacific Beach saw them and recorded them.
What would you do though if you saw a UFO over your neighbor's house, showed up, and then boop, it was gone? I would have to run in and see if my neighbor was still there.
I know,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Neighbor, dog.
Knock on the door.
Wow.
Yeah. Knock on the door. Is your butt hurt?
I gotta tell you, Travis Walton. Something about Travis Walton and me we have in common. I would literally yell at a UFO if I saw it. I would yell at it. I think that's what I first did, and I was 12 years old and I saw my first one, and it was coming over the street, and it was just me and a bunch of other kids playing football or whatever, and I yelled at it. I was like, "Hey!"
Right.
Now I know what happened. Now I know why Travis goes on tour. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no kidding. But still, even now, he'll say he doesn't regret it, but he wishes he wasn't so impulsive. Because that it's changed his life forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should take that to heed. I should really pay attention to that. Yeah. I've heard some creepy stories about different kinds of aliens, and the ones that are not with good intent, and then who knows, you might end up with those guys. Ugh.
Yeah, listen, it drives me insane for every time that I hear it that it's all wonderful things that they're trying to bring to us and save us and teach us. No, I find it hard to believe that we are the only assholes in the universe who are mean as hell. No, I just don't believe that.
I'm with you 100% on that, man. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that.
So Dre,
which is why
we popped back in. Wait, what's this? Was this?
Hey, I have to drink to that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, his audio and video completely out of sync. I think we got him now. So yeah, so there you go. It's a crazy.
How do I fix that?
It might be because you're on Wi-Fi. I'm thinking. And he's frozen now, like a daiquiri.
Oh, he's so pretty though. That's a great look too. Just right, perfect.
He looks a little disappointed right there, I guess. He's not amused by us. Oh, there he goes. He's moving again.
All right, life.
Yeah. So I personally, it's weird. It's really weird because there is a.
Now you know how Manny feels.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a local YouTube channel and also a website called Texas UFO Sightings, and they're always posting UFO sightings on the website almost daily, and I see zilch. I miss it completely, and it drives me insane. I don't understand what's happening. It's weird.
It's happened out here in Vegas too.
Yeah, it's like it's
I see it on the news, and I've been outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Where was I? You know, it's like, where was I?
Completely nuts. Completely nuts. So it looks like wait, we got some more comments in here. Well, Dave's laughing his ass off at the moment.
Good.
He's also asking why so serious. Yeah.
Why so serious, Dre?
I think Dre is frozen again. Yeah.
It's like an unhappy mugshot.
Yeah, man, it happens. I guess. So what's the other freak out?
No,
Green
it looks
Man,
like you got an expensive bill.
what's your freak out for today?
I don't have anything really UFO. It's I don't know. The thing that's been bugging me the most lately is the masks. You know, I understand wearing them. I'm talking about the design. You know, they got to make one for fucking nerds like us with fucking glasses, man. I
know.
All day long, I'm wearing this thing. I breathe out, it's fog. I breathe in, it's gone. You know, NASA's got to have designed something with all the fucking pencil pushers and number crunchers and all the nerds that NASA's got. You know, some of them have to wear fucking masks, and they've got to come up. It's just a design thing, man. Rich man idea. You know, design glasses, happy masks, and you'll make a bundle.
Well, see, the blue ones that they give you at the hospital are great because they have that little metal bridge that you kind of form around your nose, and so it keeps your glasses from fogging up. Now, the other ones, they're terrible. I can't use them.
I don't know. Maybe my nose is just fucked up shaped. I don't know. they never work for me, man. The only mask I got that doesn't fog up my glasses is my dust mask I use when I turn in sand. That's it.
So walking around with that, you get arrested.
So what do you guys
freak people out?
What do you guys think about that story that came out about a month or so ago, saying that an asteroid crashed not too far away from Wuhan, and that was the cause of the virus? They picked it up and started fucking with it.
From what I understand, the virus actually has a DNA strand that can't be manufactured, and it's a natural occurrence. It's the protein. It has a protein that is a natural occurrence. It only happens in nature. Now, I guess that makes sense because it's been said that we got here because of an asteroid. I happen to think otherwise, but it's just been said. I guess everything is space dust anyway, right? So, I don't know. I think it was just one of those things that came off an animal, and it was ready to mutate, and it had the right stuff, so to speak. That's why you got to take it serious. That's why I take it serious.
Yeah, and it's funny that they ended up having the swine flu a few weeks ago, also in China. What the hell is going on?
I haven't heard much about that lately either.
Yeah, that one just disappeared altogether.
Right?
Yeah.
Cover up.
It's like the murder hornets.
Those would have been fun, to be honest. I would have loved to see some of them.
Yeah. Well, they actually didn't attack unless you provoked them, from what I understood. So I was looking forward to catching a couple, letting the dog play with them, the cat.
Oh, poor cat.
Awake Insanity says that the virus was staged. We have patents of the virus. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. The way this thing just took off like a wildfire, and it's still happening. We're still
And
being
it's still
screwed with
happening.
COVID.
Records every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are we
there's,
gonna do?
yeah, they're shutting stuff
They're gonna
down in
close
San
down
Diego.
Clark County bars again, I'm sure.
Well, actually, down
but-
where Dre is, they're closing down the beaches.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah, here they're
the vaccine is everything to me. The vaccine is everything to me. There's a, you know, I hope that doesn't turn political, but if one country has it and it works, then, you know, if we screw up, if we piss the wrong country off, we ain't getting no damn vaccine until we invent it ourselves, right? Or
Excellent.
steal it,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is totally possible. No,
Gave up
I'd
on the
be on
last
board
one.
for that too.
So, Dre, what's the
know it.
issue with Corpus Christi shutting down the beaches?
Oh, they don't want anybody coming to the damn beach. Well, they want everybody comes to the beach, so they're trying to keep like the hot spots, like San Antonio people,
Hey, cut
Houston
it out.
people, Austin people. Well, more Houston and San Antonio to stop coming down, and then infecting other people, basically. You know, just like every horror movie we've seen in the past 10 years about spreading diseases and how fast they move. And plus, even in Corpus, we're getting like 15 cases every day still. Like 1 in 13 people in Corpus has COVID. You know,
One in
we just got
13.
out of it. Actually, we just got our yeah, that's what they said.
Lord of mercy.
And today we actually got our test results back for our COVID testing. We're negative, so we've already cleared it now.
Awesome.
awesome.
Congratulations, guys. Whew.
So they're
So,
gonna take my blood and try to use it, but I'm gonna put some little Jack Daniels in it first.
And I'll still stand in line for that blood too. Watch.
yeah, no kidding. So that is crazy. So what are you gonna do?
So yeah,
What else is closing down in Corpus Christi? Like, I can't just be the beaches.
I mean, because our mall's open. I mean, pretty much everything's open. The restaurants are 25%. There's still people going like to Lowe's, HEB. I mean not HEB, but like, everything's open. I mean, there's really not much, but they just kind of controlling the occupancy. But still, people still going to
the new terminology,
store and putting their
OSHA.
hand on the rack.
Mm-hmm.
The new terminology OSHA's using is I just had it. Sorry, compliance. We're going through this compliance thing. Like OSHA guys, they walk around the casinos, they walk around the bars, they walk around all these places, and they're seeing how compliant everybody is. And they're actually they made a list and put it out today. And we're about at 82% compliance. That's with social distancing, the masks, and protective gear. In other words, the plastic barriers and stuff that we've been seeing. So they're using that terminology now as I don't know why, but I guess they can measure something from that.
So now, are you saying this is just in Nevada?
Yeah, this is Clark County, OSHA. Clark County is Vegas and a little bit of the outskirts and such like that. Well, the Strip is actually its own different. Las Vegas, it's its own place, but they gather that information. Like my wife, she works at the casinos, and she has to walk the floors and she has to do a tally of what she sees, who's wearing masks, and she has to remind everybody, okay, you guys got to put your masks on, you got to wear them tight, keep them covered in certain places. So they're going off of compliance. Our governor is going off of compliance and this is all from the Fed. It's the Fed, CDC, their recommendations. And those who don't get compliant right now aren't getting fined. Well, no, they are. I'm sorry, I take that back. They are getting fined. Walmart, they're catching fines. So really, it's all about you guys. If you can stay safe, stay protected, you can go about your business. I think that's how they're laying out because they want to keep the economy going. Now that they've got it restarted, they don't want to see it go down again. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like we don't have all the money in the world. We just print it. But that's
in
fine.
San Antonio, we give no fucks.
But-
We just go around licking random shit just to make sure we keep it alive.
I swear to God.
That's
No,
a Texas thing. See, look,
I heard that on a scanner today. Somebody was busted licking doors today. I
See?
swear.
See,
Great.
Oh, it just blew me away.
gotta love
Great.
humanity.
They're crazy.
bananas.
Yeah, gotta love them. Gotta love them.
All right, so Green Man, I got a question for you. What would you do if ET showed up in your place? What would you do?
Well,
Ooh, that's
I'd
good
try
question.
and get on his good side, you know, and not
You
on
gonna
his
turn
probing
around?
side, you know.
You gonna turn around?
No, I'm not going to turn around. I'm going to keep my eyes on the little bastard for sure. You know. But I'm not going to shoot at him or something like that. Dude, if I saw an alien, I'd try and make friends with him because the things you could learn from him.
I'd be that guy.
Yeah.
I'd be that guy. How talking like an Indian, talking real slow to.
Dre, take me to your leader.
I'd be that guy.
Here's a question: which one of you would be like frozen right in your tracks, just like frozen?
I think we all would a little bit.
At least for a few seconds, you know that shock value.
Yeah.
And you'd be like,
You gotta
minute.
wrap that shit
Yeah.
around your head.
Yeah.
But I would still be curious to say
Yeah.
hi. I wouldn't be
Process
scared.
it. Let it go through and
I guess the good way I always tell Davina about how if someone were to meet an alien, it'd be like walking up to a dog that's barking at you because you don't know what to expect. You just know it's something you're not used to.
yeah.
Right.
You know, that dog's barking and you're like, what, can I walk up to you?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that same kind of scared feeling, but you know you can do it, but you're scared to do it. So, I mean, that's kind of, it's funny how I do it. I have my damn dog all the time, so I'm always using them as examples. So, yeah, that would be that. I think that would be it, that we would be a little shook. We like froze, like, what the hell is that right there? Then, oh, crap, it's an alien. And, try to say hi. But then, we don't have the manual to, what is it? MJ12 has the instructions how to talk to
The first contact manual.
yeah, the first contact manual. Yeah, we don't have that with us.
Yeah.
Handy.
I had to download that, put it on my app, or put it on my phone.
I'll
You
be
know,
honest.
what if the alien is going through your drawers though? He's
Which
not there
drawer?
to see you, but he's going through your drawers.
Okay, you
He's
be
gonna
more-
find a gun.
your closet.
oh, your closet.
Looking for something to wear. What do you do then?
If it's the middle of the night, he
I
might
got
get
this.
shot.
I would
got a
go through
Glock.
I give him this.
Yeah, no
He
kidding.
won't.
I would actually go through. I think the psychology of it, the 3 F's. The flight, the fear, or
Yeah.
the fight. Right.
Yeah.
And I would rationalize what I'm seeing first. I mean, is it making an aggressive movement, or is it just benign?
Like a dog, I'm telling you, like a dog.
Like on Star Wars, who talks first? Do you talk first, or do I talk first? Hey, I mean, yeah, that would be a moment, though. Really, it would be a life-changing moment. And
I'll be
we've
honest.
heard guys and gals who've gone through this moment, and they came out on the other side. So
When you said the 3 F's,
I probably wouldn't be scared.
when you said the 3 F's, I was thinking fuck, fuck, fuck. That's that's what came to mind.
That's just the first things you say.
Yeah. By the way, Alien Beer is attempting to connect to our little group here.
Awesome.
Well, my laptop can work for shit. Piece of crap. I'm on my damn phone.
You're on your phone again?
It's working
Looks
good.
better
Yes.
this time, actually. Yeah, it looks really good.
Everything's
Yeah, so I would be, I don't know, I don't think I'd be as brave as good old anyone, actually. I'd be scared shitless, to be honest. Like, I'm not even going to play.
Dave said aliens have an underwear fetish.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like all they're wearing is a one-piece going to bed suit. So
There you go. There you go.
They're trying
They're
to
wearing Borat
understand
clothes.
They're trying to understand the logic of the crotchless panty.
So
well, you see,
it's a fascinating thing. Now, do you think that someone like Stephen Greer, for example, who's always trying to meditate his way to alien contact, do you think when it happens, he'll be scared shitless? You think he'll freeze?
He's a human.
I think now he's had orbs show up at his parties, right? So, and he's
What?
like, whoa, look, yeah, oh yeah. He's got video of
that dude's worse than Barman Bailey's.
but he's buff. He's got to be too. He's got to be.
I guess if we got a camera crew and put Manny in, he'd be just as famous. I mean, it's just like
it's true.
I mean, UFOs are. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but you got to think about also too. UFOs are now becoming mainstream, and you got commercials. You got UFOs picking up Kit Kat bars. You got UFOs picking up, cows. Everything on TV. So
milk.
It's already in your face, right?
Yeah.
So now imagine like when the internet first started, and you had an internet business, and you were the first one during the startup, right? So everybody just knows you, so you get all the credit. Well, kind of Greer's in that same spot right now because UFOs are coming in, they're becoming public, but he's the first name. So what happens? That's what you associate with, right? Kind of the right time, right place.
He'll be one of those forefront people who introduce us to this is the galaxy force that he dreams of, right? I would think that they wouldn't just go to one person per se. I think they would spread out and meet a lot of individuals, I'm sure, even people we've never heard of. But I think if Steven actually had an opportunity, he would probably grab one and hold on to him and say, hey, can we just go talk to a camera real quick? Take a selfie. Just as long as he had something, he needs it. Because
if anybody looked like a pedophile, it would be Greer.
Yeah.
He does have that creeper look.
I'm just saying.
He's got a look, but
he's got that creeper look.
Yeah.
He really
doesn't he, right?
No, he does. He really does. It's pretty sad. But maybe that's why some people don't trust him, just because he's got that look.
Yeah, he does got that look. If I just look at him, I don't trust you. That's your first gut instinct, So
you trust me, Dre?
Yeah, I trust you.
Yeah.
You trust me, Dre? Oh, thank God. You're an ex-Marine, man. I don't want to be not trusted by a Marine.
There you go. But the weird thing is that when I see Greer, I can almost picture him like he's sitting and he's wearing a robe or whatever, his reptilian look himself, and he's out on the beach and the UFO shows up and just blows him to bits.
Wow, man. You can't say that on YouTube.
I can't. Just blows them to bits because he's been fucking with them. He's been mind fucking them for a long time.
That's a racist remark, Manny.
But he does have a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of people who came forward with stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of stuff that those people can be held accountable for. But as long as they stick together as a community, you're protected in a pack, so to speak.
On the move.
As long as that plays out, I think everything's safe, and we'll see what happens. But anybody who can bring forth the answer, right? We should hold on to a little hope and protect that for what it's worth, right? Because it would be worth everything to a ufologist. It would be worth everything. So
and there's a lot of truth to that because a lot of these guys who are ex-military who've been in special programs and who have like refrigerators full of beer, we should trust all of them.
Well,
sorry.
At least hear them out.
Even with TTSA, I don't like TTSA so much, but they have Fravor. They have Fravor in there. He really seems like a person you can trust. Hey, so there you go.
What about this for conspiracy theories? That the To the Stars Academy set up the MUFON guys to take over.
They,
Oh.
or
Just saying.
it could be a corporate hostile takeover. And
That
that's
wasn't
Yeah,
hostile
yeah.
for sure. That wasn't hostile. That was just a fucking takeover.
That was neat. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still really curious. How the fuck did Tom DeLonge get tied in with all these damn people?
it's all
Remember,
the
he
emails.
had sightings.
You know, dude, fucking, you know, a local punk fucking guitar player who, you know,
Green Man, calm down. Calm down.
You know, how the hell does he get these connections?
It's getting worked up. 1 second.
You know?
You're a
It's
bunch
one
of
thing he got
haters in
signed by
here.
a record company, but fuck, man, how the hell did he get that? He topped it. I was amazed when they got signed by a company, let alone now he's getting UFO ins and fucking hookups here and there. What the fuck?
But it could happen to anybody. It could
could have
happen
been
to
you.
Manny. It could have been you, Green Man. You know.
Yes.
It could be me, for Christ's sake. What am I
Get
gonna
some more
do?
smoke.
You know.
Get some more smoke. I got more drink. You get
I'm
some
on
more
it.
smoke.
All right.
I'm on it.
Renee has a question. How did Dr. Greer summon those 2 fiery UFOs from out of the sky?
God.
Well, there
Could be a
is,
kite.
in my opinion, there is. Yeah, it could be. But on the real, if it's real, there to me, excuse me, there's a spiritual connection, a mental telepathy. But remember, our brain isn't all the way functioning yet, right? That's what
And
we've
it's
been
like
told.
we use like 10% of our brain.
Exactly. So if something happens or somebody gets born and
I'm
just
at
that
3.
little percentage works. I mean, look, we have psychics on here. They have abilities I don't have. You know, they have something going on in them that I can't explain and I don't have. I don't possess it. So if somebody's born with that and they can actually talk outside or, you know, the connection, metaphysical level, you know, it's huge science. It's really big. I mean, I've heard a lot of, you know, smart people talking on podcasts. They got all the right words and they line it up perfectly.
Why do you look at Manny when you say that?
He's a smart guy to me, man. He does his research, you know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Calm down, Green Man.
But if somebody's got the real deal, I could see that. So the way that the Stephen Greer dude lined up his whole deal with the CE5 is it's on a telepathy level. It's on a spiritual. You know, you take yourself out of it. You take your ego out, and then all of a sudden something's coming out. You know.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time studying a little bit of religions on that.
He's spiritual or anything. He doesn't. He looks like a corporate guy.
Well, I mean, he's an
yeah.
emergency room doctor, so he kind of like I wouldn't go to the emergency room if the guy's in there wearing like shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. That I mean,
Right.
but
Right, exactly.
That would be spiritual to me.
yeah, it would be.
Like something like Dave's shirts, man. Oh man, if I go to a hospital and Dave's shirt, they're wearing Dave's shirts, that awesome shirt that you know you got. Oh geez, forget about it. I would turn around and walk out.
There is a point when you talk about psychics and you talk about their abilities, because we've been on the podcast, we've had 2 psychics, and I've been wowed by both of them at the stuff that they've been able to say. Addie, the very last one. I mean, before the podcast even started, I was talking to her, and she just gave me all this info, and I'm like, where the fuck did she get it from? Where
Dude, she's on your computer.
Right.
Well, yeah, she's part of the NSA, but still, you know.
Find that in her profile, right?
Yeah. But still, how did that happen? I mean, when she said that she could read dogs and animals,
people.
I was like,
they're real people doing real things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're real to a lot of us, but some of us don't understand that, and maybe that's what's happening with Greer. We don't understand them, you know.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, because isn't part of his course like a whole meditation kind of teaching type situation, to where they go all,
it's a connection, a bridge.
Yeah, ring out in the desert, and they kind of meditate and call these things down.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I actually downloaded it when it first came out. Yeah, there's a whole.
But how much is the class again? 2,000, 3,000 bucks?
Oh yeah, it's not cheap, but it's a whole experience.
Yep.
You know, they
And I've
sit you
done
up
some
at the
meditation,
place
dude,
and all that kind
and
of
it works.
If you're
That's
charging
why I
money
jumped out of it. It
for something
scared
that's
me a
free,
little bit.
you're a
And I
scammer.
told Addie that. I said my spirituality went to a level that I couldn't handle, and I was honest about that. And I jumped.
I think we're losing you.
Oh,
I know.
dude,
He's looking like
come over to
Andre.
my place. We'll do it here.
Alien Beer.
Once you download it,
Alien Beer says that Greer does peyote.
now,
He
man,
said brown acid.
Got some bad ayahuasca or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure any of that stuff. I just downloaded the app for, I think it was $5.
Listen, Awakened Sanity says, how do you know we are real? We actually never see objects, just the light that reflects off of it.
The answer to that one is what the whole world lives on.
Reminds me of Young Guns.
Faith. You have faith in that we are real. You have faith in that there's a God. You have faith in that
it's
things
too hot.
exist.
Yeah, my phone's too hot. I'm gonna have to back out, guys.
Oh shit.
All right, Norm.
All right, man.
Put in some ice.
It's overheating.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude, get out before that thing melts.
Yeah, it's gonna blow up. We don't want to catch it on YouTube. There you go.
I was like, how does his phone get hot? What is he doing? He has it on something?
Videotaping. If you're constantly using it on video and recording on it, it'll get hot.
It took in some of the smoke. GameVid has a question here. He says, what information did you get from the psychics before you talked to them? Really, with Addie, it was more about, because I told her right up front, I said, hey, Bugs needs a reading. And she's like, oh, yeah, I already tuned into him. It's like, what? How do you do that? And,
Maybe she's a dog lover, though.
Well, she has a few dogs. That she does. But still, how do you do that all the way from Florida? And you tell me exactly what Bugs has been going through in the last 3 weeks. It is bananas. Like, I was just shocked that she was able to do that. And I don't know. There is an ability to humanity that is undefined, that is not well scripted for everyone to get into. But geez Louise, it's amazing. It's an amazing gift.
Yeah, the psychic that I went to, Amy, she was telling me stuff that was crazy. You know, stuff I had to go back and, check with my mom. I'm like, she was saying that there was some very, very religious lady watching over me. Like super, super religious. No idea who the hell it was. I went back, I found from my mom that one of my great grandmas back in Portugal is up for canonization and sainthood.
See, there you go.
And then she's also, she one of the other things she said, she's like, dental. Watch out, watch your teeth. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, okay. And 6 months later is when the fucking thing went south, and now I've got a 5-tooth bridge over here. I'm like, what, dude? What the fuck? How can you know these kinds of things?
Right. Even you, Dre, have you had any experience with psychics at all?
No, that was the first time I ever had anything, readings or anything. But it was, I think out of my scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 2, she got me. Like trying to figure out, and it's like I hate being the naysayer, the person doesn't believe. But my mind is open to know that people have gifts. There are things in this world we can't explain. There's abilities that people have, but I hate using the word charlatan, but that's just a good word so you understand what I'm saying. But people do their homework. They're good at reading people. They're good at listening. Maybe she's been listening to the last 15 podcasts, Manny, and she just said, "Oh, I only listen to one." That's part of the thing of, "Oh, I only listen to one," but she listened to 15. And she hears everything that's going on. Doesn't mean she does not doing her homework. these guys are professionals. These guys know they've been they learn from somebody, and they've been taught very well. And it's hard for me to believe stuff like that. You know, I mean, I see so many. They're smart people, smart people, and they use their good brains for bad things.
No, that's true. A lot of them are that way, to be honest.
They're geniuses. You know, I'd say my little brother underneath me, he's hilarious. He could be on any tour comedy, but he thinks the world owes him. You know, but there's always something, you know, with the genius. You can do something with it, but they just don't do it, or they use it for evil. But anyway, go back to that was my first reading. I was just trying to see, maybe because I had my guard up, my skepticism veil was up high. And I was just trying to like, okay, maybe she was fishing for information, but she really couldn't. I really didn't say much. That's why I didn't want to say too much, so she couldn't try to ask me a question. Yeah, you know, and me give her information to see what she was. That's what I said. I was like, well, the only thing is maybe the end part. She was asked. She said about maybe starting a business, and I've always wanted to start a business, but then, you know, I'm already getting near retirement, so I'm looking for something to do after I retire. So that's the 25%.
You could stitch a bunch of masks.
Yeah. The Vina has like 15 of them ready for me, so I'm good to go.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's weird because even Green Man, you had the same situation with Chris when he was on, and even you said that something you've been told in the past that you put up like a psychic block.
Yeah. That's what Amy told me at first, you know, because she was having a hard time reading me at first, you know, but then it finally started to come through for her. But she's just like, yeah, you know, it's almost like you've got a wall that's kind of hard to, you know, and hard to get through and hard to pick up on. But, you know, she muscled through it and got, and dude, yeah, was nailing stuff, you know. I don't.
And to be honest, personally, I don't fuck with psychics. I really don't. So any information I give them is usually about the podcast, and I just let them just ramble on and tell me whatever they got to say. And then if it's something that I could acknowledge, I acknowledge it.
She's a non-believer. That's a non-believer.
No, I believe. I believe, but I also believe, like you said, there's a lot of people who are out there for the money, and they've been around the game long enough to be able to get information out of you and wait for your facial expressions, wait for your reaction to see that it's something. But number one, it's hard to do that over the phone or over the internet. And number two, you know, like I said, I don't give out information. Hell, I don't even give you guys information, to be honest. And I don't give out people information in general. So when I get
I already know Manny runs a strip club. We all know that. Don't worry, Manny.
That's hilarious. I keep it strictly business right from the beginning, and usually they're the ones who just tell me things.
Is Dave said in the public forum they get all your information?
Well, yeah, but I'd have to be putting things out there.
Yeah, but you give little hints here and there on bugs. You comment on bugs, you know, as much as you don't think, because you don't go back and listen to your podcast. You just say it and then you go to the next one. That's why I asked that question. You go back and read the stuff, or maybe hear it again to review your work. So those are things you might forget. That still information's out there somewhere. It's easier to find the information because you have 300 and almost 400. God damn. You know, I think I started listening to you at 180.
Jeez, really that long? Oh, that's crazy.
But I always listened, but I never, like, you would talk about Discord. I never knew about any of this stuff. And then I just, you know, one day I just figured, let me get into Discord and let me just kind of jump around, because I jumped around with several other UFO. Like I'll talk to you about what is the other that guy the other guy I told you about? He had a podcast and he was part of the UFO convention.
Is that the guy in Australia? Is that the guy you're talking about? No, goddamn, not Australia. Phoenix.
Yeah, that guy.
Shit.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't like him very much, but yeah, I know. Open Minds, out of Open Minds.
The Open Minds, yeah, Open Minds.
Yeah.
And then there was another show besides Open Minds. I was going back and forth between those two because those were the only kind of podcasts that were talking. Well, the guy from Open Minds, he had like he was always at the convention. He was talking to all these big name people. He was throwing big names out. So I was listening to him. You know, I was like, oh man, this guy, he's in the end. But I didn't realize he was hanging out with MUFON people. Duh.
Yeah.
So then I'm looking and I see yours. I had seen yours a couple of times and I was like, what kind of cheesy graphics is this? I'm not gonna listen to this guy. so then I popped in. And started listening, and I just like, oh, I like what he says, and I like the people that he's talking about, and I kind of just stuck with you, and kind of got away. And I go back ever so often, and they both kind of dropped off the other two podcasts.
Yeah,
they do like sporadic.
Yeah, they're still around, but it's just like, you know, there's only so much you can bring up Roswell. There's only so much you can bring up Rendlesham. You know what I mean? And so they were always having the same fucking guests over and over, talking about the same story, you know, or they would bring the guests back. And this year they had a new theory. Well, let's talk about the new theory. It's still the same damn incident. Get the fuck out of here. Go somewhere else. You know?
It's the same person.
Same person. And so that's what freaking drove me insane. And that's why I started doing it, because I used to listen to Alejandro Rojas.
Alejandro, that's his name.
I used to listen to Alejandro and his buddy that also went off and did his own show. But I stopped because there was always the same people talking about the same shit over and over. I just couldn't. Yeah. What is this? Dave says, you would be surprised, Manny. Most of my experiences have been reading the signs or body language. Exactly. People do it all the time. Joe Rogan, he does it. Sometimes he'll pull up a video and he's reading people's body language, you know, when they're telling a story and things like that. So it happens. People do that. You know, if you're in public service, you're part of, if you're a cop or something like that, you do that. You read body language, you know, to tell if someone's like fucking around with you or pulling your chain or something. So that makes sense.
Totally when I give people their mail, I can tell.
Oh, yeah. When a dog is chasing you. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, anyway, guys, it looks like we are at the end of this particular podcast. I'm glad you guys actually made it, as well as the Norm, who is probably caught fire somewhere. Like he's
dousing
gone.
His phone. Yeah, dousing his phone in the sink.
Me and Norm switched places.
Yeah, no kidding. And actually, what's that? Renee said he should stick the damn phone in the freezer, see what happens.
I've done that.
Yeah, a couple of things. Alien Beer, I don't know. He wasn't able to join, but he started a private chat. So he's got all these messages on here. Alien Beer, too bad you didn't make it. Would have been great to have you on here. And what can you do? And he's got some random stuff going on here. I don't know. We know how he works. So hopefully you guys will come back next week when we do this again. And I am thinking, and Dre, you better be here for this, because the next time after we have Chris on, I think that Horde episode will be with a live psychic, and I think it's going to be Addie, and we're going to pull the tarot cards out on you and see what we get.
I even had to look up the Six of Swords or whatever the hell she said it was.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see? So I just hey, I like they do their research. I do my research too.
No, it makes sense. You got to do it. Being skeptical is not a bad thing.
Oh no, the one a quote from before we leave, a quote from was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? What's his name?
He's Neil the Rubber Dicker.
Yeah, he said, "As our knowledge increases, so does the vastness of our ignorance." Yeah,
that is true.
And that's what I mean. He said that with wow. And so when I learned something, like we learned, as I'm learning stuff, like I was reading the Six of Swords, you know, understanding that, then I realized, man, there's so many other things that go on with it, and it's so funny that like you think you learn something, but you're so stupid.
It happens to me every day. What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I've
anyway,
got the six
that
of
was-
swords in my pocket.
That was my 2 cents.
Listen, I thank you guys for joining. It was fantastic. You guys got to come back next week. The next podcast will be on Saturday, and
Wait. So when are we gonna do this again?
it'll be Thursdays. Every Thursday
Okay, Thursdays.
at 10 p.m. The Freak Out will be here live, and
Gotcha.
and we'll have some guests. So we're going to line up some guests to have on here so that we can pummel with all our questions.
See, this is so much easier to comment instead of typing it because I have a lot of rude comments. I'm just saying. And
Yeah.
I think next time I'm gonna wear my fleece shirt with my cowboy hat and this.
No, that's perfect. Bring out the bar and have yourself a barbecue. Have a bunch of people over, and we'll have them all on YouTube.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to do as customarily as I do on the podcast. We're going to cut out with some "You Live or You Die." Ciao, fellas.
Good show, man.
Thanks, Manny.
Well, I was going to go. This is a technical problem, right?
Oh, now I know how you feel.
This is what happens when you are doing this for the first time. Son of a bitch.
That's what I felt on my laptop the whole time.
I know, right?
Couldn't get this shit to work. It was pissing me off. That's why I would have the mean mug face.